Rick wanted to be here for 100.
I know. But...
What? This isn't the 100.
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast.
Welcome to episode 100, featuring me.
If you like what we do here, please throw a like on this video, or follow it, give it a rate, anything, help, wherever you watch
the video.
Yeah, follow this video. wherever you watch this podcast, it helps us a lot. So yeah. So Mike's gonna edit this. He'll put this at the beginning of the episode.
Yep.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast, the podcast where we like to normalize checking in on your homies. I'm Mike. That is also Mike. And this is episode 95. And because it's a so-so episode number, we brought a so-so guest all the way from Ontario, California, born in St. Joseph's Hospital, Santa Ana. Owner of one working eye. Our boy, Rick McDonald's.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, the McDonald's threw me off. I was like,
Yeah,
Dude,
I haven't gone by that in a long time, and I don't like that you brought it up.
there's two things that Rick's done that have like genuinely been really funny to me. One of them,
There's more than that.
there's
There's
just two. One is when we started telling people that his last name was McDonald's in Spanish because his name is Rick McDonald. That's his real name. Also known in small circles as Handsome Rick, but also clearly that was years ago.
More commonly, yeah. AKA.
But the other one was Perverto.
That was my term. That wasn't me. That was me calling Daniel.
Calling Daniel. That was.
Yeah.
I still don't know, Jesse. What is pervert in Spanish?
It's perverto.
Pervertido?
That's little pervert.
Yeah.
what about a big pervert?
We're talking about
Like
big pervert.
a full blown pervert.
Like perverto senior.
Perverto. Dude. Well, it only took 95 episodes to get you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you told me it was the 100th, and that's the whole reason I agreed to do it.
And here we are.
I'm a little disappointed now.
My math was off.
Yeah, well,
Who knows? Maybe
we'll
It's point
pretend.
math.
We'll pretend.
yeah. Dude, 95. 95 was a good number, though.
Yeah.
95 was a good year for music, probably.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
Remember California Love came out then.
Really?
Yeah.
95?
Yeah, he says it's 95 in the song. Come on, Mike.
The realization on Mike's face was just, oh yeah.
Yeah, I know my years.
What else came out in 95?
Independence Day.
Nice.
I think Beavis and Butthead Do America came out in 95.
Really?
Huh.
It's on in theaters.
We looking for a fact check here?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's probably gonna.
Yeah.
He's real slow with the fact checks though. So in like 5 minutes, he's gonna go.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was 95.
Yeah. When and not
Tommy Boy?
switching cameras. When that's how you know Jesse's looking.
That's why I gave it the one shot.
Because it'll be that is a growth. That's growth.
That's
growth on Jesse's end. When was the last time you guys saw Independence Day?
I want to say like maybe 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. I started watching it maybe a couple months ago and fell asleep.
And did you guys see the new one?
No.
The only reason I watched the old one is because it was on in a waiting room somewhere that I was waiting in.
Yeah. Suiting.
That's the only reason I watched it. Other than that,
What were you waiting for? To watch the movie?
Yeah. For the movie to be over.
Wait for the movie after it. Waiting for Point Break.
You just go to
Waiting for Point Break.
Waterworld.
Braveheart.
See, he still hasn't answered the Beavis and Butthead question.
Romeo and Michelle.
No. Batman Forever.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Die Hard with Vengeance.
Batman Forever was the one where he had the Batman debit card that said Forever on it because it never expired. That was also the one that had like the George Clooney nipples and stuff, right?
No, George Clooney nipple. That was Batman and Robin. Batman Forever was Val Kilmer.
Was it
Batman
Val
Forever-
Kilmer?
Yeah, and Jim Carrey and yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you're right. You're right. With
Tommy
Poison Ivy.
Jones and yeah, what's her name? Tom Cruise, ex-wife Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Dr. Chase Meridian.
But he did have the Forever debit card in that movie.
I don't know.
I
This is your time, dude.
Yeah. Jesse
Right?
wasn't alive then. What year were you born?
No, I wasn't alive. No, I wasn't.
You weren't
Good
you weren't
one.
alive in 95? Dang.
What year were you born?
96.
96. Shit.
Whoa. I
Next week's episode. Next week's episode.
was a little perverto at 96.
I was a pervertido.
Dude, I remember my brother has gotten his permit, and I remember him driving me and Jose to the movie theater to see Batman Forever. Forever, was that the one? Is that what we just said?
Yeah.
I'm trying to. The only thing I really remember from like '95 was being a Michael Jordan fan.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was the year to
95,
do that.
96.
that was number 5,
That was
right?
a year.
Or no.
No,
It's the best year to do that. Be a Michael Jordan fan.
I don't know what
you're not-
year that was. So, yeah, man.
Dude,
Good times.
Rick, you're here.
I
Great
thought it
times.
was 96, by the way.
I knew it.
Uh,
Testing you.
I told you 5 minutes later he'd give you an answer.
Dang, well, Ricky, there's a lot of stuff. We have a lot of history.
Yeah,
A lot of history.
we do.
We were born in the same hospital 2 days apart.
That's true.
That's real.
How
We've
did
got the scars to prove it.
How did you guys meet?
Wait, like MEAT?
Yeah,
Or
like how did you guys? It's called docking.
My first memory of Rick was when he came into band practice. Even though we did play a show with you guys.
Yeah.
But I don't remember. I don't really remember you.
I only talked to Christian that night. Yeah,
Was
so
it
my-
a showcase show?
No, it was at Mission Tobacco Lounge.
Was that the show that we all got kicked out at?
Yeah, but I wasn't there for that because I left early.
Would that have changed your
And then-
mind about our band, or would it have made us look cooler?
Probably would have made you look cooler.
Because we walked out like 3 songs in.
Yeah,
'cause they
didn't-
kicked out.
Chris got kicked. The dude hit the microphone in Chris's face or something like that.
William?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
before that, they had kicked out some of our friends for moshing.
Yeah, it's
But
not
MTL was always kind of a stickler for no.
anti-mosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't mosh around with that.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
Dude, that night it felt like a baseball game, dude. Because like I never like at that point, I don't think I had been kicked out of a venue before
Especially playing. Right?
Yeah, and then the guy he went on like he was literally acting like a fucking umpire, dude. And like whenever like,
You're out of
yeah,
here.
No.
yeah, because Chris like he kicked out someone. And then Chris was like, dude, fuck that. It's like, dude, we're not gonna play if you don't let him back in, or that whole thing, right? And we're like on stage. We did like 3 songs in, and then as the guy's like walking away, telling us to keep playing, he like kicks Chris's mic and hits Chris in the face. So Chris is like, dude, fuck you. Like we're out. He's like, I'm not playing, or we're not playing, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're all like, yeah, fuck it, we're not gonna play. And then he's like, well, get the fuck out of here. You guys are out of here. You guys are out of my. You guys are out of my.
You can't kick us out. We're leaving.
Yeah, like literally were. Dude, and then even it was funny. It was funny because like I guess if you guys don't know, we have friends Todd and Janae, sweetest couple. Even Todd was like, "This is bullshit. Fuck you," and he got kicked out too. Like it was like all our friends got kicked out. It was nice. It was like a real bonding.
Yeah.
A weird bonding experience.
It's a
which Rick
moment.
missed.
So I missed that, but what I remember about that night, I talked to Christian outside. Boring. And then I talked to Martin because me and Martin were wearing the same shirt. Like I showed up and I was wearing the same shirt as Martin was. And like I knew who you guys were because I think Jason had hired me to do your guys' MySpace before. So like I knew who all of the band members were, but I hadn't like introduced myself. I didn't even know Jason at the time. He hit me up through email or whatever. And then like, so I knew Martin and we're wearing the same shirt. And I was like, oh, there's,
What
you
shirt
know,
was it?
I don't want
Is
to
it
talk
black?
about it. I don't know. It was the guy at the shop said it was tan and taupe. That's from Something About Mary. That was not true, but yeah, we were wearing the same shirt, and I walked up to him, and I was like, "Oh, nice shirt," and like pointing at, it, and he was like, like gave me nothing.
He gave you the
Yeah,
Martin
and I was
response.
like,
He gave you one of these. Thanks.
yeah. He's like, cool,
Cool, man.
cool.
Cool.
Dude.
It's like, yeah, it was cool. I pull it off. You don't.
You don't.
Dang. So that's how. So did Christian reach out to you when we were looking for a bass player?
No. So you guys were on Warped Tour, and Chris, I think, posted a bulletin on MySpace, and then I replied to it. But the crazy thing is that night. So like, my buddy Charlie knew. You guys know Charlie.
Yeah,
my buddy Charlie was looking for a band to play bass in, and at the time, I was like, yeah, I heard, or no, he told me that No Bragging Rights is looking for a bass player, and I was telling him you should join that band because we had already played the show together. And I was like, yeah, you should join that band. They're touring and doing fun stuff. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, their music kind of sucks. I was like, I know.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. They'll get better.
And I was like, well, maybe go ahead and sing. You could put, he's a terrible singer. Anyways, Charlie, if you hear this,
Speaking of
you
Charlie,
still suck.
where is Charlie?
I don't know. It's been a few years since I talked. In fact, the last time I talked to him was at NAMM.
Okay.
And he was like,
Lost a lot of good men. That
yeah. I saw him randomly, and then I gave him a hug. This was like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe longer. I don't know. I gave him a hug, and he was like, "Dude, how you been?" I was like, "Good." And I was like, like, you still have the same phone number? He's like, "Yeah, dude, I haven't changed my number." And I was like, "Oh, well, now that I know that you got the same phone number," he's like, "I'll hit you." He's like, "No, you won't." And I was like, "Okay." And I didn't, but because he was a jerk about it. Maybe if he was a little nicer, I would have, but nope.
I feel like I text. I feel like I texted him when we did the episode with Davey, and I don't think I got a response back. So I don't know.
He just texts back, "Die."
Yeah. Just lose my number.
he's like, tell Rick, fuck you.
Yeah. But yeah, so Charlie knew somebody that knew that Jason was quitting, and asked me if he should, try out for you guys. And I was like, yeah, dude, do it. And at the time, my old band, like, I was having a lot of issues with them, and I had this long talk with my guitarist on the way back from from practice one night. After we had this fight with the band, and we're driving home from LA, and I was just saying dude, this sucks. I don't know if it's gonna work. And I was talking about No Bragging Rights, and I was like, we should be doing what they're doing, going out promoting, and they're out doing Warped Tour and stuff. And and then that night I had a dream that I had joined No Bragging Rights. I didn't know any of you dudes, but I had a dream that I was in the band, and we were taking pictures in the van and posting them up online on MySpace and stuff. This is so stupid, but so I had a dream about it. I woke up, and on MySpace there was a bulletin from Chris saying looking for a bass player. And so I replied to Chris, and he hit me up immediately and was like, "Can you practice tonight?" And I was like, "Sure." Yeah. So I came down, and then that's when I remember meeting Mike. So that, circling back, that's where me and Mike first kissed.
Yeah, it was right away. I was
Right
like,
away.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
You just went straight for the open mouth.
Yeah.
I was like, so he's in.
Yeah.
I hope he can play bass.
I couldn't. Yeah, that's the thing.
I remember a weird, such a like a dumb thing, but I remember being like, man, it'd be really nice to have someone like my age. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think we might have been like trying out either dudes that were like maybe I'm guessing younger. And I was like, I don't want a younger dude in the band. Yeah, that's funny. That was the
I feel like that around that time, I was already hanging out with Martin, but I wasn't as close with everybody else at the time. I mean, other than you. And I feel like the first show I saw you play was Showcase, and your old band was also on that show.
Yeah.
And they were like taking jabs at you on stage, and I was like, "The fuck is this shit all about?" You know?
Wait, really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's all in good fun.
Oh, okay.
They hated me, but it was,
They made. I remember them making some comment about like, this goes out to Rick. You know, we want to make sure we don't sell out or something like that. And I just see Rick standing there like,
what? Like, at least make a relevant joke or something on point. Make fun of my eye or something. What the fuck?
You know what you should have done is like a symbol of like, this is done. Is you should have taken your gloves with the holes in it. And thrown them at the stage.
I should have, but you know, hindsight's 20/20.
"Do you still have those gloves you can put in a case?"
I have them somewhere.
They're next to Martin's fedora.
Yeah, I use them whenever I, need to wipe my ass.
So at that first practice that Rick came and jammed, we were like, dang, he picked up the songs pretty well. Like, what do you got going on tomorrow night? Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We were like, we have a show tomorrow if you want to like play. Who was playing bass for us? Did we not have? Were we gonna like go with no bass player?
No, you're just gonna forfeit the show. And Christian was like, yeah, we're gonna because it was up in Hayward. Remember that show in Northern California? You remember that?
Yeah.
And Christian's like, we have a show booked in Northern California, but we're gonna cancel it unless you want to do it. I'm like, I'll do it. Let's go.
Great.
Yep. I remember I practiced the songs like the entire way up there on a little CD Walkman in the back, dude. That's how old that shit was. 2007. Those are the days.
That was the era of the van with the captain's chairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of like the Fields on Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little bed in the back.
Dang, and then that was the beginning. How long after you were in the band did we record? What did we record? What was your first thing? Was it Consequence?
It was
Or the EP?
It was the To the People I Consider Cowards demo with Ryan Baker. That was the first thing that I recorded with you guys, and then we did.
Wait, so were you at the party when Christian's nuts fell out?
That was oh wait. That was Christian, wasn't it?
What was I saying?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I was there, but I missed that part. I had
okay.
strep throat. You remember that? I had strep throat, and like I recorded my parts. I was hanging out, but then I crashed. I just laid on like a bench and then went to sleep.
Dang.
Yeah,
But you were there.
I was there. That was when he got the bionic arm. When he had that scar on his arm. Remember that?
What a time, dude.
Yeah.
What a time.
What a time. Dang. So then we did Consequence, Dreams. And then for Illuminator, that was the first time. Because normally, whenever we'd write anything, we'd write it, and then I would basically just show up when we record, and then everyone's hearing it for the first time.
Rockstar
Yeah.
mentality.
And so I'm like, it's
To be
fine.
fair, he still kind of
Yeah.
does that today.
Talking in a British accent.
Oi.
And yeah.
What do you all got for me?
But then for Illuminator, that was the first time when we're like, we need to try to make like better choruses. We need to have catchier choruses. So then for like I don't know how long of a writing process we did, but like we just go to Rick's house, and then him and I would just jam out chorus ideas, and we just fuck with melodies and harmonies, and that's how we got the choruses for Illuminator.
Mm-hmm. That was fun times.
Fun times.
Yeah, there was a definite shift in No Bragging Rights at that time, because it was no longer just you coming up with like all like the bulk of melodies and harmonies and things like that. And I think I'm gonna suck your glizzy a little bit right here. I think Rick has an ability to kind of look at things, look at music from like a listener standpoint, and be like, hey, I don't think this is gonna be catchy. I think this will be catchier to do it this way or try this way. So
Sure, I'll agree with that. I'll agree.
so
He's
it's
like-
helpful. It helps a lot.
He's like, he's like, what story of the year?
Well,
Yeah.
just
Can I see
live by
myself?
that mantra. What story of the year do?
He's like, can I see myself in the back of my pickup singing these choruses? And that's how.
WWSOTYD.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I was about to say. Is there any memories that stand out from that time recording? But feels like a.
No, there was one that stands out a lot. Is we partied really hard one night, and we got Castleman to party with us and stay there. And he got super wasted, and I woke up and he was like face to face with me. Like, I don't remember going to bed. I just remember waking up and me and him
Next to
just face to face.
So, Daniel, he's such a rad dude. He's a sweet dude, but very intense and like very like no nonsense. Our first time meeting him, so it's the first time we're at Tim Lambesis' house, his studio. We meet Daniel. We like kind of have an awkward introduction meeting him. And he's like, dude, I just got the brand new like iPhone 4 Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
And like we're like, oh wow, like I don't think any of us had iPhones.
I think we had Blackberries back then, right?
And I had pretty sure I had a Nokia, but he was just like, yeah, dude, I got this today, blah blah. And as he's like talking, it like slips out of his hand, and it fucking breaks in front of us, dude.
On the tile floor.
Yes, mind you, we're just meeting him.
Yeah.
And he like it breaks, and all of us are like, fuck. He's like, fuck. He gets it and like leaves. We're like,
Yeah.
All right. Well, now.
Super, I forgot about that.
yeah, we're like, I guess we just wait here. Like we hang out here. So that was a fun start to that.
That was a good time though. Since we lived at that house, I remember we cooked a lot. Mm-hmm. I remember me and Martin cooking a lot, and then when one of the things I remember most is when it came to time to do gang vocals, Daniel had some date somewhere, and he split and was like, "Yeah, you guys you guys handle it." And then it ended up just being me and Martin doing the gang vocals like by ourselves in the room, and like nobody else was there. And so me and him start like doing these like super low burly screams. And we're just trying to outdo each other on who can be like the biggest, burliest, lowest screams. And Castleman thinks that it's funny, so he's egging us on. And he's like, "Oh my god, it sounds like there's like 7 400-pound dudes in there." Just screaming. And then that's how all the gang
And then we
vocals sound.
kept them.
Yeah.
And they just sound tough as fuck.
They sound something. Tough wouldn't be the word I use to describe
They
it.
sound burly.
Stupid might be.
When I think of the gang vocals on the album, I can't remember. Is it? And then they threaten us with fire. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that was EJ doing that guest vocal part?
Oh, that was weird because
Yeah.
we never heard like a metal.
Yeah,
we never
dude.
heard anyone do like the high,
And low scream, yeah.
but it was
Oh,
super
yeah.
quiet.
Yeah, so when he's
Yeah.
recording, we're like, oh, let's get this on film. And so like he's doing that guest vocal part, and he does the low part, and I'm thinking it's gonna be all loud, and it's like no more loud than that. I was like, what? That's how you do that? I lost respect.
That was a fun time. That was also the time when just one of those hot days, and Martin shaved his head. He's like, "You want to shave yours too?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, totally." So I shaved my head too.
And then you found out.
I forgot that I was at my buddy's wedding. I look like a Ninja Turtle, dude.
Wasn't it your mom that was like, Mikey,
Yeah,
You have a wedding?
I was about to like. I was like, really? Like about to go into like war with my mom because
Yeah.
she's like, Mikey, your hair. Like, and I was just like, dude, are you kidding? Like, but I don't know how that was.
I'm an adult, mom.
Yeah.
It wasn't
She's
the
like,
fact-
Jose's wedding, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm stupid.
She wasn't
Yeah.
mad at the fact that you shaved your head. It was that you put a swastika in the back. That was offensive.
Super
Is that-
thick line.
Is that a carved? Is that a carved in the back Santos? I don't know why. Dude, I was. Dude, I look like a Ninja Turtle in a suit.
Stop calling yourself a Ninja Turtle. You're giving yourself too much credit.
Well, the other, oh man, it was bad. I was genuinely embarrassed. I was genuinely embarrassed because that was I'd shave my head, but I wore a hat all the time.
Right.
So,
What would it take for you to shave your head now?
Martin offering.
Martin,
Somewhere.
offering on a hot day.
dude, $100.
Dang.
I give you $100.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Dude, we should do that for a fundraiser.
Mike shaves his head.
I don't actually no. I don't want to shave my head.
I was just talking about I shaved a mohawk into my head one time when I was like 21, I think, and it was the worst thing that I ever did. And I was immediately embarrassed as soon as I did it. Everybody's like, "Oh, it looks fucking badass." I'm like, no,
No.
I think you guys are all lying.
This
Every single two of you.
I feel like the moment you shave your head or the moment you do a mohawk or whatever, it's like, this is rad. And then it's the growing back process. You're like, this was fucking stupid.
No.
Like every time I shave my head, I feel that way.
I gave it a day, and then I shaved the mohawk off, and then I'm like, I'm just as embarrassed with the shaved head. I don't know which one is worse.
You could have done like the cool little like short strip mohawk.
Oh,
Like
who's
the
that?
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell. That's what I
dude.
was like, who's that fighter that did that?
Who's that one guy?
Who's that?
Brock Lesnar. A little flat top.
Oh, flat top. That was my dad's haircut for the longest time. He never let that go. He might still have it. I think his head's just shaped like that. He just shaves his head.
I feel like there's a couple things that pop into my mind that Rick would always say. And one of them was, it's like my dad used to always say.
Oh yeah, and you just trail off.
The trail. Just leave him hanging.
Or just walk away.
That's a fun one.
Trying to think of short stories we can share.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna share the story, but Rick almost got us fucking beat up at a party.
Oh yeah, that's true. But it all ended up working out
It ended up working out too well, which is so
a
ridiculous.
little suspiciously well.
Yeah.
I
was like-
the dude who was gonna beat us up ended up buying merch from us before we left.
Actually, he ended up buying merch from Radio Suicide.
Well, I like to embellish the story and say that it was us.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better at the end of the day. Makes me feel like I almost didn't get beat up.
The Radio Suicide days, man. That was
Fun times.
fun times. Do you remember when you guys played San Jose Skate?
Yeah.
And me, Austin,
Yeah.
and Abraham road tripped it up there. You Sharpied Austin's teeth black.
That sounds like something I do. Was that when we played with Love Hate Hero there?
Yeah.
And I Am Ghost was on
Love
that
Hate Hero,
shit?
I Am
Yeah.
Ghost. And I'm pretty sure Radio Suicide was on that too.
Was that how we met I Am Ghost? Or had
No,
we already?
that was the tour we were doing with I Am Ghost.
Oh,
And-
that was already the tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys were on a run with them.
Mhm. And then Love Hate Hero joined us on like 3 dates or something like that.
Sick,
What happened to Love Hate Hero?
dude. I'm an I Am Ghost. I liked I Am Ghost, dude.
Thrasher became successful.
Yeah. He went to. Did you play Escape the Fate?
Yeah. And
Is he still in Escape the Fate?
I don't think so. No, he just records the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Scott Stapp. And, Scott Stapp. I can't think of anybody else.
Wait,
We
did
should
you
ask
really-
him to mix our record.
as a It's a favor.
I know, like, remember when I helped you carry your gear off stage one time? Well,
Yeah.
will you do me a favor?
Do you remember the last tour you did with MBR?
Yeah.
Was it the long ass Canadian one?
Yeah, it was 6 months. That's why I didn't tour after that.
That's why you were like,
Yeah.
this isn't fun for me.
It was
anymore, guys.
from January 4th to June 16th. And the only time, like, it was literally nonstop. We came through Riverside like a month and a half into the tour. Like, I think we went out like to Texas and back or something like that, and then came back through and then went up to Canada, or did like the full US, Canada, like, and all in between and stuff. And that's when I was like,
That was a farewell for Freeway.
Farewell to Freeway.
Yeah.
Was that that one? Yeah, it was.
I think so.
Yeah.
The-
And that one was rough because I used to make money doing MySpace layouts, and then they changed their format, and that's when everybody like left and went to Facebook, and I was like, well,
There
shit.
goes my income. Yeah.
Now I'm broke. I'm in Canada, living off $3 a day, eating like choosing only to eat like every other day, and the shows were like just straight,
Not good.
yeah, garbage. And I remember we would do things like
Dude, Stacey and I broke up on the tour.
really?
On that part of the run, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, it got really. I lost 17 pounds during that tour. Came back looking all skinny and stuff. I was like, no, I just couldn't afford to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, I was like eating every other day, and yeah, I was like broke. But I remember one of the things we used to do is, it was in Canada. I feel like we did this like 2 or 3 different places, but they had bars that would do specials where you're like, come in, buy 2 drinks, and you get all the wings you want for a penny or something like that, right? And so they'd, on like Tuesday night, they'd have like two PBR tall cans for $2 each. So you had to spend $4.01, and you
And then you just
2 tall cans and then
smash
as many
wings.
wings
Yeah.
as you could eat. I remember
We survived. on
yeah, we did that a couple times. But yeah, that was we also drove through the Canadian Rockies. Remember that?
Yes.
And it was like a blizzard, and there was trucks all over the side of the road. And I remember Martin was driving, and I was in the back, and the snow was coming down so fast. We were only driving at like 20 miles an
Yeah.
hour, but the snow is coming down so fast that it looks like you're going like 100 miles an hour on the road.
It's like light speed.
Yeah.
like, stop driving so fast.
Fucking with your head. Yeah, it was fucking scary, and just trucks everywhere.
That was I remember that being, because we've driven a lot. We've been through
Yeah.
some bad weather. That was the most scared I've ever been driving. I was just like, we're gonna get an accident.
Yeah,
Just hope it's not a bad one.
This is it.
This is-
I know it.
It's sketchy because you're pulling a trailer too. You're yeah.
You could every once in a while you could feel the back end like start to slide a little bit.
And that was you two had like kind of an agreement, right, about like if this stops becoming fun.
Yeah, because we didn't want to be like, because we, you every now and then you'll play with the band, and you're like,
You could tell that they're just
oof, like we can't
Burnout.
be that.
yeah.
Yeah, I got burnt out on that. It was that tour for sure. And then Christian was like, morale was down. Everybody was like, we'd play a show and there's only 7 people at the show, and like everybody's broke and hungry. This is where you cue the Sarah McLachlan music. Everybody's broke and hungry, and for just 12 cents a day, you can help this band.
You got to feed a band.
Well, also like the looking back on it now, the way that you guys handled that financially, we'll just say you guys as a whole, right? Well, it was not the right way to go about things.
Yeah, we were constantly trying to pay everybody off before we paid ourselves, and I was always trying to fight against that. I'm like, guys, like, we need to eat.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm gonna fly away if the breeze kicks up. And yeah, so I was trying to fight against that, but ultimately it wasn't like my decision or my, like I didn't handle all the financial stuff. So, but yeah, I remember that tour, Christian, like, morale was down. Christian was like, well, here, guys, and he was really into The Secret, and so
yeah.
and so he was driving, and whoever was driving, just you pick whatever you want to listen to during the drive, and he put on The Secret, and I was sitting up front, and like it actually clicked with me but it was in the wrong. He was like, guys, we need to listen to this. We need to manifest what we, where we want to be and how we want to be. And I was like, all it did was make me decide that my time in the band is done.
I'm done here. This is
I
it
was
for
like,
me.
oh, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start my own business.
You're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Christian. I feel so much better. Yeah. And that backfired. So blame Christian on me not being in the band anymore.
Yeah.
That's
If it wasn't for the secret, it'd still be chugging along.
Dude, wait, so when you got home from tour, because I think, did you tell us during the tour that you're like, I think this is it, or did you tell us when we were home?
When we were home, yeah, we'd played Arizona, and then it was our last show for that tour. And then I told everybody, like, I think the next day. Next day or the day after that, or the month after that. 3 months. It wasn't the fault. And I never told anybody.
I was like, you just didn't show up to practice.
Just stop showing up.
No, I think I told everybody the next day after we got home. I had decided probably 3 weeks before the tour was over, but I didn't want to deal with all that drama.
Yeah.
And I was stuck.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's not a conversation to have
I
with-
literally can't afford to fly home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fun times.
That was fun times. Dang. And so you got home from that tour. What was the first thing you did? Cause did you start working? Or?
Ate.
I ate.
You
Yeah.
ate? Yeah.
I gained 17 pounds.
Had a meal.
The first thing I did was I had a client that I was doing a lot of design work for, and I told them, like, give me all the work that you have, and I'm just gonna like start my own business. Like, literally, I had already started my own business because I was doing work for Jason Majo under Blackheart Group. And then we ran into this issue where people were paying me to do MySpace layouts, right? And then there was this record label from Australia that paid me up front to do like 6 MySpace layouts. And they never sent me anything for any of the... They never sent me any of the assets, like band photos, like
Right.
any
Things you need to make the layout.
yeah. And I followed up with them like continuously. And then after like 2 months, I stopped following up. They paid me up front. And then so like 6 months goes by, I forget all about it.
Yeah.
And instead of like reaching out to me, they sent a mass email to everybody with a Blackheart Group email address, like just anybody with a Blackheart Group email address, and was like, if we don't get our money back for these MySpace layouts that we paid you for 6 months ago, like, we're going to sue you guys.
What?
And it just made me look like a piece of shit. And I'm like,
Right.
look. And so immediately Jason Majo, he calls me and was like, hey, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I like explained the whole thing to him. And I was like, I followed up with them and they never got back to me. And then so I was like, I need to I dug through my emails and I sent him the entire conversation. I was like, then I started thinking, like, did I fuck up? Did I miss an email?
yeah.
Did they get back to me and I just like forgot, or like I didn't reply? Because like by now I've already told Jason Majo that what the story was.
It wasn't my
Yeah.
fault, right? And then you're like, fuck, wasn't my fault.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. And then I read through everything and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not a piece of shit. Like, I actually did like try to do it. And I sent it to him and he's like, okay, well, he's like, that's cool, but like everybody else is freaked out. So I have to take away your Blackheart Group email address. And if you're going to do that, you should just do your own thing. And I was like, okay. So that's when I started Stomp Designs.
The Blackheart Group thing was an interesting time frame too, because it was like, cool, Blackheart Group, we're gonna do some shit, and then one day it was just like, nope, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first label that No Brainers was on and started.
But yeah, that was fun times. And I remember I called, the whole reason I called my business Stomp Designs was because I had like rolled my ankle while we were on tour in Canada, and we all used to do these like synchronized cool stomp moves, and I couldn't stomp anymore. Like, I literally had to like sit with my foot up all the time, and I went through like all of these different company names, like trying to think of cool names, and I couldn't think of anything.
What were some of the
Down my
runner-ups
foot.
that you had?
Shit Stain Designs, Handsome Rick Creations, Perverto design company.
Perverto presents.
I don't remember what the runner-ups were, but I should have gone with Perverto Presents. That would have been the wise choice.
Yeah.
So after you kind of like, after you leave No Bragging Rights, because there was a time frame where you kind of like disappeared for a little bit too, like working on the escape room and everything like that. First off, how did you get into the escape room?
The escape room?
Yeah, and then how did you get out of it?
So,
And then I want to share when Rick told me,
yeah.
because I remember vividly.
So, I heard about escape rooms in like 2016, I think, 2015, 2016. And a friend of mine went and was telling me about it. And I was like, oh, this sounds fucking cool. And I was constantly trying to get friends to go, and nobody wanted to go. Everybody thought it was like a haunted house. You thought it was like, Not Scary Farm or whatever. And so I finally, Tessa's sister's husband, Ryan, when him and Tessa's sister got engaged, they had like before they got married, he had a bachelor party, and for his bachelor party, he wanted to do it, so he invited me. And so we went and did an escape room one night, and at the time, I had my shop in Corona doing screen printing and like vinyl and wraps and signs and all that stuff.
Right.
And I was getting burnt out. I was getting burnt out on like the clients that I had. I feel like I was just like I got into it to do like cool design work and stuff, and then it became like, hey, I like the design that you did for this person. Can I hire you to do my logo? And then they'd be like, but here's the parameters, and it's basically like they just tell me exactly what they want their logo to look like, and I'm like, okay. So I felt like, and then it was just like I felt like I didn't have like a creative outlet, and so I played the escape room, and I was like, looking around, I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be something more extravagant. Like I could have built something better than this, the one that I went and played. And I was like, I had a really fun time, and I didn't make it out. But I was like, that was fucking cool.
The experience was cool.
The experience was cool. And I was like, I feel like there's a million things that I would have done to make this room better. And so I was talking with Ryan about it, and I was like, we should just open up our own. And then he was like, dude, we should. And he had come to my house, and he was like talking about getting out of his job and stuff. And so I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And so we just fucking dove straight in, and we're like, all right, let's do it. We got some investors, secured some funding, and then a couple people took some big risks. And we got a commercial building in Rancho. And did you ever come?
I never got to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did.
Well, yeah, Mike went. And I was like, we built it all out, and it took us like 10 months to really build the whole place out. And even at 10 months, it was like we were only able to build one game.
Yeah.
And our intention was to open in 3 months and have 4 games. And it took 10 months just to get one game done. And so we realized it was like we're just naive as far as how long things take to build. And like, and then we were like perfectionists about everything, and really wanted to like come out swinging, like we want to make something that was cool. So I feel like we did pretty good for our first game. But then at the time, like while we were building, I literally played one escape room and then decided I was going to open my own. And then I didn't have a frame of reference. I kind of just thought they were all of that quality. And then you learn the more you play, like they vary, like
difficulty levels.
Oh yeah, and just the time and effort people put in making their shit look good. Some people like hire companies, like professional set designers to come out and do their stuff. There's places in LA where these people like put $250,000 into one game. Fuck. And like you walk in, you know it. It looks like Universal Studios or Disneyland or something. And we got a lot of compliments for what we did, but like I feel like what we did wouldn't compare to the $250,000 budget.
Yeah.
But anyways, we opened that game, and then we start operating the business, and then we're like, hey, well, we're not going to be profitable just with one game. We need to open up a second game. So like start working on the next one. It took us another 10 months to get that one going, because we're now operating the place, and then while we're closed down, we're building the other game. So it's like we didn't have the kind of freedom and time to build the second game. And then so once we got that one open, then the business kind of blew up because we did some really cool shit in that game.
Yeah.
And like word spread and like people started coming from literally all over the world. It was fucking cool. Yeah, like
That's rad.
yeah, the game, like we won an award for the game, and like it's like listed on like, this is nerd shit, but I know.
Cool.
But we got like, I'm proud of it. So like we got, you know, like listed on like top. There's this website called Tripeca's like top escape rooms project or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we got listed as like one of like the top 100 games in the world, which is like fucking
Fucking sick,
cool.
though.
Considering there's more than 500 escape rooms in just Southern California alone.
Yeah.
And they're all over the world, and like the best ones are like in like Germany and Sweden and like the place where they don't have building codes, where there's no rules.
And they can like you can like literally get hurt.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah. So those are like the fucking cool ones. But the problem was we opened up that game in November of 2019. And then we hired our first employee to help us run the business. And then we were literally open we had that game open for 3 months, and then COVID hit. And we got shut down. We were shut down for 10 months. And so during that 10 months, we're like, the first couple of months, like we were paying rent on the building, but then we're like, I don't know how fucking long we're going to be closed. Like, why are we still paying rent here? Like, I don't know what we're going to do. And like, fortunately the landlords were cool, because everybody else in our complex was closed too, you know, like, you know, nothing was open. So we're like, well, let's just take this time and revamp the first room that we built and make something that is up to our capabilities now. Because during the time of building, we went and played. I've now played, I think, 74 escape rooms. Like,
so you were like,
yeah, so like
studying basically.
went out and played. Like, I'd ask everybody that would come in, like, what's your favorite games, like where you know, and the same ones are always coming up. So you go play all those ones, and then you make friends with other owners and go play their games. And like, even some of the like the real shit ones have some cool elements, you know. Like, you could take like the game sucked, but there was this really cool fucking part, you know. So like, we would take those ideas and like, how could we use something like that in our games? And like, so we spent another 10 months while we were shut down revamping our first game, and then we reopened. And in like January of 2021, it was still like a little sketchy. Everybody was like coming in, we're temp checking everybody's wearing masks and stuff like that. And it's how, I don't care how anybody like feels about like either way. I don't really have strong feelings on anything like that. But like, in the industry, like the escape room people, there's people who are like Yelpers, you know, and like they'll come to your location, and if you're not like following all the guidelines, they will blast you. Yeah. And like,
so you have to disinfect every room as soon as somebody.
mean, it's not a bad idea to do that anyway. Which we did, but like, it was just like, man, you better play by the rules, otherwise, because like, we saw some of our friends' rooms like get trashed, you know, just by these people, because like they didn't, you know, like they played a trick, or not like a trick, but they were testing, like walked in without a mask, and like nobody asked them to put one on, you know. So they're yeah, dude, it's like like trying to trap people into.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hated it too, which is kind of why I stopped being in that industry. But yeah, because we didn't pay rent, we accrued like this huge balance on our building, and we had all of our investors to pay back. And so we're like, okay, well, we have these two really popular. We opened back up, and the other game became like just as popular. So it's like really cool. We were literally sold out like every weekend and most weeknights. So like, if you didn't book by Thursday, like you couldn't even get a spot. So like, every time the phone rang on a weekend, I'm like, it's just me telling somebody I can't book you.
Yeah.
And like, so it was really cool. We're you know, super busy, and we started charging more. We're like, look, if we're gonna be popular, like, might as well charge more.
Yeah.
Like, because we know the effort that we put in, and like, just based on, if you're looking at other games and stuff that are in the area, like what they charge, we're like, we could charge a little more than that.
Yeah.
You know? So plus we're like, we need to pay back.
Yeah, we've got some debt to take care of.
This debt back. So our goal was like, let's just work nonstop, and then every penny we make, just pay off everybody. And it took us a year, but we did that. And so like, we literally, like, so I was working at the escape room every weeknight, like from Wednesday night to Sunday night, and so every weeknight and weekends, all day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Mondays and Tuesdays I would like have the day off, but I had my printing equipment at home, and I would just print out of my garage and like keep my client. I paid my bills through my personal clients, and then just used all my time at the escape room to just like pay back debt. And I feel like I had zero social. That's why I disappeared for that.
Yeah.
Like zero social life for like 3 years, just because I was stuck.
And I know you had told me like the number that you guys made in a year. I don't know if you wanted to say that, but it was a pretty considerable amount of money. You
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
came up with in a year.
Yeah, we did pretty well. And I mean, like, we could have continued to just, like after we got back to zero, run the business, but like we were getting burnt out. There's a lot of like snobby people that would come in and they call themselves enthusiasts, and like they create a reputation. Like, so there would be people that we knew from like different Facebook groups, right? That brag about how they take a picture at every escape room they go to and post it on these groups, and like with a number of how many rooms they've done. Like people have done like 1,500, 1,600 games. Like people who've set records for playing like literally Guinness World Record holders for like playing the most escape rooms like in one day. Yeah. And like they came and would visit, and then like you would try to make sure everything goes right while they're there, and like you kiss their ass, and then you just feel like an idiot afterwards. And I'm like, I don't know, it's fake and gross, and I was getting burnt out on it.
Yeah.
So one day we're watching a group play the room, and Ryan puts on The Secret and says
he's like, I have a way to make the break room better.
You just have to manifest.
I wish that last part was true.
That's amazing.
Do you and can you share like the worst experience that you had there, or worst group or person?
Was that when you and your group went?
We had a great time.
Yeah, I lost my invite for that one.
Yeah, you
You were invited.
you were gonna
Was
go, but at the last
I
second,
don't remember.
At the last second, you weren't invited.
You said something like you used some outdated language that I don't want to share here. Oh, really quick before you go in, I vividly remember I was taking class. I was taking classes at RCC,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know if you just called me for that or if you called me for something else, but you're like, dude, I started an escape room. I didn't believe him at all. Not for a second. I was
Fair
like,
enough.
I was like, right on. And you're like, dude, I know. But like, I really did. I have an escape room now. I was like, all right. What? And then I was like, trying to like talk about other things. And you're like, I'm being serious. I was like, I know. I didn't believe him at all. And it was like later on or something where it came up, or maybe I saw a picture.
I saw
Like,
the
oh,
Instagram
shit.
pop up.
Is that that might have been what I saw?
The Instagram popped up, and it already had like a pretty good amount of following to it. But then I don't know how we made the connection that it was your escape room. And I was like, wait, what? And I asked Mike about it, and he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess he really did. He told me.
Rick has an escape room.
Dude, when I went though, I've not, admittedly, it's the only escape room I've ever done. But what I thought the experience was going to be was not that. It was like it was really good. It was like a lot better. I thought it was going to be like super cheesy and like lame.
Just a bunch of dad jokes.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a dad joke in one of the games. Yeah.
But it was cool. It was like hard and stuff, and like the things like were actually. I remember like there were so many times where I was like that was cool. That's like you push something, then like something opens up, or like
Dude, we had a 12-foot tall fireplace right in one of our games that like after you solve a series of puzzles, you throw a switch and the entire fireplace slides over and reveals a door.
Just sick.
Yeah. It was like it's cool shit like that. Like that was just part of the reason why it took 10 months to build these games. But
I already had been bummed that I never got to make it out there for the escape room. But then when you sent me the video that you edited for the escape room, I was like, fuck, man, I really wish.
so you've seen some of the inside of that. That was the game that we revamped. because that was like the original game that we built, and then we just made it way better. So like we had a bunch of shit that we wanted to do with the game when we first built it, but we're like, okay, well, I don't know how.
How are we gonna do this?
How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna pull that off? So it'll just learn a bunch of shit, but yeah.
Okay, sorry. Now the worst customer or the worst experience.
Okay, so I had this group come in during the day on a Sunday, and a lot of people think that it's just going to be a great idea to go get wasted before they come play an escape room. And like, look, I like the drinky myself. Okay,
I like those beers.
I like them girl beers. Okay, but if you've played any number of escape rooms, like Mike said, like it's usually not what you think when you go in for your first time to play. It's like it's challenging puzzles, and like a lot of them are just fucking hard.
Like
and,
it's like clever. You got to be thinking
and so like it requires a lot more brain power than like it's not like just go in,
It's not
get
a
drunk,
maze.
and try to break things open. It's not really like that. I mean, some places are like that, but not many. But most of them are like, there's like clever puzzles and shit. You gotta really like use your brain and try to figure out how to get through the game. So like if you're drunk, like you're not gonna do well. And most people who don't do well, they get frustrated at some point in the game because they're not progressing.
Right.
And so you're stuck in there for an hour, and like you see people, you can kind of see the mood change. So we were always trying to help people and like move them along. Like we have a PA in the room, and like we'll give them it. Like they can ask for hints if they want, but if we see that they're just like they're almost getting something right, like we can kind of chime in and like just some people don't fucking like that shit at all. But anyways, we had this group come in during a day on a Sunday, and when they walked in, they just smelled like alcohol. I could smell that they had been drinking at lunch. And like they weren't like wasted
Like
but
belligerent.
they just a little like tipsy, whatever. But like still, like when you book the game on our website, it tells you like 3 times, like there's no drinking before you, like we don't have to allow you to play. And we learned this really early on because somebody came in drunk like when we first opened and like broke a bunch of shit in our game. And so we're like, hey, we no more letting people in that have been drinking. So so we make you sign a thing, not sign, but like you have to check a box. You literally have to check it or you can't book your game, right? So, and it's like, I have read and acknowledged these rules, right? And then when you get your email, it reiterates everything, right? And so they show up late, and then before COVID, this is like we used to do combined public games. So like the room will hold 10 people. If your group has 5 and you book 5 spots in the room, there's still 5 spots open. 5 other people might just book those spots,
Right?
And then you got to play the game with them. And we did it that way because you make more money that way. But after COVID, we started doing like private games, but. So this one particular time, it was a combined game, and they'd been drinking. They come in. They were late, so the other group was already like waiting for them, and so they show up late, and then we let them in the game. And there's this part in the game where there's like a piece of furniture that's attached to the wall, and I see these 2 guys like looking as I'm watching them on the cameras, and I see these guys like pointing and like pointing at something, and I can't really see what they're pointing at, and the dude grabs the piece of furniture that's attached to the wall and literally like yanks it off the wall. And in this piece of furniture, there's a bunch of wires and stuff hidden in behind it, and it's all like neatly done. But it's the control to move forward in the game to move that fireplace out of the way. And he literally broke the wires that were connecting those. And I was like, and you can't tell right away. All I can tell is that they moved it. And I was like, I chime in on the microphone. I'm like, guys, it's attached to the wall. You're not supposed to move that. And I'm like irritated.
Yeah.
And so they go to try to progress to the game, and now the fireplace won't open, and I'm like, okay, now I have to fix this game, and we're booked for the rest of the day, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to I don't know what's wrong, like I haven't seen, so like I got to kick him out. And that when I went to kick him out, now the angry drunk comes out in these people, and they're pissed at me for kicking them out of the game.
Because they broke the shit.
I'm like, you guys broke my stuff, and I'm like, and even if I wanted to allow you to play, the thing you broke won't allow you to get into the next room.
Yeah.
And so they leave, and then they have this lady hits me up. She has the audacity to ask me for a fucking refund on the game. And I go, I'm like, I was like taken aback, I'm like, excuse me, and
like, bitch, did you just ask?
You realize you're you broke this game.
Yeah.
It cost me money.
And I also had to cancel the next, I think, game or two after them, so I could run to Home Depot,
Fix what was
buy the wires, replace, splice what needed to be fixed, patch what needed to be patched, paint, like everything, and get the game back up running so we could book like the later games can play. And so she's like, yeah, we want a refund for, you kicked us out of the game early. And I'm like, okay, like, I'll give you the refund, but I would just like an explanation as to why you think I should give it to you.
Yeah.
So that's all I said. And I was like, I should have just told her, whatever. But like, I was too close to the project. And that was another reason why I was like, I found myself like hating every group that came through, because I was like, oh, these fucking idiots,
They
like,
fucked up your work.
yeah, like they're not appreciating this game.
Well, that was clever. What just happened?
Yeah.
No one's reacting.
What do you mean you didn't laugh at that dad joke? And then so like she replies, like, she just goes off on me, and then immediately afterwards leaves a fucking 1-star review on our Yelp. And I was like, motherfucking, we like, to this point we had 0 1-star, like they're all 5 stars, like we had like 100 something 5-star reviews, and like this one asshole just leaves a 1-star. So like that one just stings.
Yeah.
And nothing you can do.
You can't do like the response from the owner thing.
I did that. Well, see, here's where they messed up, because their Yelp account didn't match any name that had actually signed in on our waivers. Like, so I was just like, on the response, I was like, we have no record of you ever playing here. Are you sure you're leaving a review for the right location? And that was all. So in the owner's response, it just looked like they never really played there.
Yeah.
But if you even, nobody really cared. Like,
Nobody gives a shit.
It's obvious when somebody's bitter,
Right.
And like they're leaving a bad review because something weird happened, and like,
And they're mad.
They're mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Amazon.
Yeah. You could tell
Yeah.
when somebody's being an idiot and just mad because they bought the wrong thing or whatever. But
Yeah.
so, anyways, that's my escape room stuff.
Dude, it's crazy, because I did like 1 or 2 escape rooms at like Comic-Cons. So they weren't like super in depth, like they were kind of cheesy or whatever. And there's one over here that like a bunch of people from my work go to, and they're like, oh, it's sick. But I've always just been like, I need to find at least a smart group to go with, because I don't want to be stuck in here and feel super stupid afterwards.
What's the name of the one over here?
I don't know.
Confusion Escapes?
Something, I don't know.
Is
Like an orange logo with a dude like running.
Oh,
like a
that's
key.
yeah. It's off Waterman.
Yeah, it's close by.
Yeah, Exodus. That's
Yeah.
That's like a chain. They have a few locations. They're all
Oh, okay.
Is your old spot, is it still there, still the same game, or they added to it? Is it different?
I know that they made a couple so we sold it last year, and to some owners who actually have like good escape rooms of their own. And like it was 3 different owners from 3 different escape rooms that kind of just came together and bought our location.
Oh, cool.
And we made them the private offer first, because we were friends with them. And we're like, look, before we put this out in the public, like, we're thinking of selling. Any of you guys interested? And like, so they kind of teamed up, and they were all about it. Because our like, dude, we're booked solid all the time. Like, so it's just kind of if you have the money to do it, it's kind of an easy choice, I think. And then you don't have to go in and build anything that already has a good reputation, except for that 1-star Yelp review.
Are they still going? Is it still?
Yeah, and so it's still there, it's still going. And the only things that I know that they did, because like when they took over, like I had to do like a month of training. It's like training employees almost. So like,
showing them how
everything works. Yeah. And like the good thing is the main guy that was like behind getting the other owners to buy it is a guy that I would rely on to ask questions when I needed to know how to build something. So like,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So like he understood everything I did, and like saw some of the shit that I did and was like, why'd you do it like that? But yeah, so it wasn't that big of a deal for them taking over, but I know that like they made a couple changes in the game and made things easier. And then like, I haven't really followed up with them too much since they took it over, but
We should go.
I remember
We should go.
them telling, yeah, just ace the game. I remember all the combinations.
We'll grab Ryan and we'll all go.
You should wear a costume.
I know.
Just
Like-
a real bad fake mustache and like
Just a mustache.
The little one.
Just a little.
A little Charlie Chaplin.
Just a little Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Chaplin mustache.
But yeah, that was. I know, like, we were super particular, like, about how we ran it, and so like I tried to impart that on them, but I could tell like they weren't interested in doing things. They kind of wanted to do things their own way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you're buying it, you can do what you want. I'm just telling you from experience, like, if you don't want things broken, like, you got to kind of like lead people, you know, in one way or another. And they told me like 2 weeks after they took it over, and I was like, all right, you guys good? You done? Like, you know, you're not going to call me for some random thing anymore? They're like, yeah, we had to replace like 4 things in the game because people came in and broke stuff. I'm like, I told you.
They're like, we had this dude rip this piece of furniture off the wall.
Yeah.
And it tore the wires so the fireplace wouldn't move.
Yeah, that was dumb. We had some people do some funny stuff too. There was one time where we had, I guess I can just spoil it. It's not my place anymore.
Yeah. I
At-
don't think we said the name of the escape room either. So.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right? It's
You thinking of a place you don't like?
yeah. All right, I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, there's at the end of the game, there's this part where because the room with the fireplace, we kind of like try to design it like the Disney Haunted Mansion, you know, and so like the end of the game, there's this part where you pull a candlestick back, and when you pull a candlestick back, a skeleton falls from the ceiling, and like it's just one final jump scare, like to get everybody. And we have some videos recorded that like we recorded footage from our CCTV cameras, and like this one group, dude jumped across the room over like the chair in the middle of the game and like did a rolling somersault land and slammed into the wall, and it was gnarly. Like the whole building was like doo. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff. There was the first game we built, it was like a medical, like dirty hospital kind of, you know, game. That was the video I showed you. And in one of the rooms there was a filing cabinet, and we'd get these like little girls that would come through for like 13th birthday or something like that. Yeah. And their parents would drop them off, and they'd go play, and they'd be really timid and scared of everything. And we didn't really put jump scares in the game other than that like skeleton. So like if they scream over like a door that opens because they solved a puzzle, and they'd all think that something was going to jump out and scare them, and like so that shit would get fucking annoying. And I'd be like, guys, there's no jump scares in this, and I'm like, I'm telling you, like, there's no need to scream at every single thing that happens. So like, there's one group of these little girls, and like, one of them left a filing cabinet drawer open, and it was like one of those like tall filing cabinets, right? And they left the top drawer open. All these girls are only about as tall as the filing cabinet. And something opened, and the entire group ran, and some girl just got clotheslined by the like face, like feet came out. Like, good thing your parents signed a waiver.
Let's jump into the mental health check then, Mike.
All right, mental health check is where we like to check in weekly, see where we're at mentally. That way, if we're going well, maybe what are we doing that's helping us, and if we are in a funk, maybe what is going on or what are we neglecting to do that is keeping us in that funk. So who wants to go first? Me?
Go for it.
I'm good. Last week was my birthday. Last week was Rick and my birthday.
Thank you.
We're 2 days apart, so we're both 40
pounds overweight.
Yeah.
the glizzy goblin and the flat micer.
I mentioned this on the last podcast, and I feel like it bears repeating, but when we were at Not Scary Farm, they're celebrating their 50 years of Not Scary Farm, and I was like, man, we're 10 years 10 years from 50, dude. Oh yeah. Dude, I used to be, we were in our 20s, dude, when we were seeing the world and doing dumb stuff.
Yeah. And now we're Now we're in our 40s.
In our 40s, and we're gonna do maybe not as crazy dumb stuff, but we're gonna still do some dumb stuff.
Yeah, so we got to get this punk rock stuff out before
Yeah.
we turn 50.
We gotta do it now.
Yeah.
I got time.
Yeah.
Oh, youth.
Ryan pointed out.
Not if your cholesterol has anything to say.
Ryan hit me the other day. He's like, "Hey, if this sounds so weird. If your kid is just like, way younger, it's fine. Like, find yourself like a 10-year-old or something like that."
Oh,
for the video. Out of context, that sounds so
Yes,
horrible.
Should have
but
started with this for the video.
it's fine.
find yourself a good-looking 10-year-old.
Find yourself a nice little handsome 10-year-old.
Let's see. I'm doing well. I'm doing well mentally. Last week was obviously busy with everything, but it was exciting. It was fun. Jordan was out here, so we had to do a lot of stuff with her, and then got to do stuff with the family. 2 nights ago was the birthday party thing, which is fun. Yeah, mentally I'm doing well, man. I've been listening to music, which has been nice. I feel like there's something I'm getting into that has been helpful. That sounds.
Well,
What is it?
it's called The Secret, guys.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Something my buddy showed me. It's called The Secret.
Just quit everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole life reset. What never mind. I know what it is. I was excited because I got to introduce John Wick to Jordan.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a real
I
person.
was like-
I know that's a fictitious character.
I was like something really really special happened this week.
Jordan, I'd like to introduce you to John Wick.
Yeah.
Senor John?
I love because she has no idea what it is, and yeah, I know. And this isn't. I mean, if the movie's been out for since 2014 or something.
So did she only watch the first one, or did you watch?
No, well, we've only seen the first one, but she's excited to watch the other ones. But right away, when when she sees the dog, she was like, "Oh my god!" Okay. And I was like,
Wait.
I was like,
Just wait.
She's either gonna be totally on board, or she'll be like, "I want to watch something else."
Yeah. Can we watch Frozen?
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, this week has been good. I'm hoping I don't know that I'll be able to achieve it, but I would like to get better sleep. That would be great.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Manifest it.
Yeah. What's in the
See
secret?
it.
It'll put you right to sleep.
Were you? Was that your, wait? Was that the?
Were you kidding when you said that?
Was that your first time hearing The Secret, or was that your first time listening, paying attention?
First time paying attention. Yeah,
Okay,
'cause
'cause
Christian had tried to play it before.
Yeah.
And I never really paid much attention.
Yeah. I remember being like,
It really put me to sleep.
yeah, I was super on board, and then I was just like, those are the rules for prayer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they say that in The Secret too though, don't they? Like it's like call it what you want. Like
Yeah.
prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rick, where are you at mentally this week? Or yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of always in a perpetual state of stress and trying to mask it with dumb humor. But that's just being a business owner, I guess. Today was pretty rough, especially this morning. Like, I have 9 or 10 employees right now. It's bad. It's bad that I don't know the actual numbers. I could count, but after I get to 7, I just start. I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands.
what else to do.
You just stop trying. That's actually one of my favorite things Rick does. Actually, I know Mike's done it. We'll call people that too. But people who they'll misread things. And you'll be like, did you just give up halfway? Yeah. It's not even close. Yeah.
Just quietly sitting in the corner.
So yeah, and there's this thing that employees like to do where they like to say they're sick or go home early on Fridays or call in sick on Mondays. and we all know it. We don't talk about it.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. I used to be an employee,
Yeah.
but now having employees, I feel like all those times that I went home early or called in sick on Mondays is all biting me in the ass. Yeah. So like I kind of look at it like that. I kind of look at it like, well, this is my karma, but I never fucking did it as much as people do this shit to me.
Yeah.
So
I hate calling off.
I do too.
I feel weird.
It's weird. I think, like I'm not a big corporation. Like everybody plays like a key part in what they do every day. So I literally need everybody there. And if I don't have one person there, it can be a shit show.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their role that they play. So it kind of boggles my mind that like I know the reason one of my employees called out today was because he went to what's the Six Flags
Fright Fest.
Fright Fest. He went to Fright Fest last night, and he told me on Friday he was going. And I was like, "You're going on Sunday night before work on Monday?" It was literally like the last thing that I said to him. And then he texted me at 5:30 this morning. He's like, "Hey, I got home late, and I'm not feeling that well." I'm like, "You're not. It's not that you're not feeling well. You're tired.
Tired.
You're sleepy, bud.
You're tired, dude."
Yeah.
And
Call being an adult. Go to work.
Yeah.
Bro.
Thanks for leaving me hanging here. And then I have another employee who his brother works for us, who just started like a couple weeks ago, and he comes in, they ride together. He comes in by himself. And I was like, "Hey, where's your brother?" And this dude doesn't speak English very well. What's that language that he speaks? German? Oh, Spanish. They like confuse them all the time. And so I ask him where his brother is. And he tells me in like his broken English that like his brother got in a car accident. And I was like, "Oh my God, like, is he okay?" And then he pulls out his phone. He's going to show me a picture. I'm like, "You going to show me your dead brother?" It wasn't that bad. He was just,
wasn't dead.
He was just sleeping for a long time. Apparently he went out to a club on Friday night and like left the club with two girls, and the girls were drinking all night and then caused a 14-car pileup.
Oh my God.
And one of the girls like wrecked her arm and her leg, like broke her arm and her leg. He was in the back seat and like no like super serious injuries, but he's like tweaked his back. And he said he's like having trouble like walking. So, but he's also called my brother today and was like begging him not to fire him, like saying like I'm gonna come back in as soon as I can, like don't let me, like, so that one you get a pass.
Yeah.
You get a pass. But
that's a little different than being sleepy on a Monday morning.
But yeah, so I've been like, it's stressful because like owning your own business is like one thing, but then like when you're business partners with somebody, it's not all your decisions all the time, So like a lot of business decisions have to get split between my brother and I, and like sometimes I'm sure I don't do things I don't make the choices he would make, and he doesn't make the choices I would make, and so it can be troublesome at times, but we have a good thing, and like you see in our shop, it's like
massive,
huge. But that's a lot of overhead, and now with all these employees, so it's like it's constantly like, yeah, we're doing a shit ton of work, but every time I have to cut checks for payroll, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
There's money coming in, but there's a lot of money going out too.
Loady. Yeah. So yeah, it can get really stressful, but like, and I find that when things are tight, I get way more moody, and like I try not to be emotional, but like I'm an emo boy.
Yeah.
You
are.
I listen to Story of the Year on repeat every day for an hour. And so yeah, so I'll get like irritated, and it's just crazy. But then like we'll get paid for something that we've been owed on for a long time, and then like I know we're fine on payroll, and I'm like, oh, we're good. Yeah, all right. Well, things are great.
Until you got to cut the checks again.
What was I so upset for?
You're like, buying rounds for everyone.
Yeah, guys, we got a bunch of money. Let's go blow it.
Bud Light's on me.
Can't hold on to this money for too long.
No, burn a hole in my pocket. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm okay. I had gone to the doctor for my finger last week, my little finger. It's still in a splint, just and then that opened up the whole like, hey, you've gained 30 pounds in the past like 8 months. What's going on, bud?
Of muscle.
No,
You didn't tell me it was muscle?
I tried. They didn't believe me. They were like,
we can.
the doctor straight up, because when I went in, they were like, You've put on a lot of weight since you know over the past like 6 to 8 months, and you know your blood pressure's a little high. Are you stressed out at all? I was like, it's the last 6 to 8 months have been a little. The weight gain is from the stress, and and so they're like, oh, you should probably get back to fitness and
You should probably stop stressing.
probably yeah. They're like, maybe you should make your life easier somehow.
Have you tried not stressing?
Yeah. So, yeah, other than that, I mean, overall, it's been pretty good for the most part. We just been nose to grindstone, working on everything. We kind of had a couple wins over the past week. Like, Karima had appealed. She's been fighting this ever since she stopped working, like her unemployment stuff. And finally, she got through on the appeal, and they were like, cool. Here's a lump sum for all the 6 months.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
nice.
So she was able to like
Cha-ching.
pay off her car and like take care of like some of the shit that had fallen behind on her end. And then she like kind of gave me some cash to like, I know it's not everything I owe you, but like here's to like help start paying off of all the shit that you helped me out with. So that was kind of nice to have that come in and take care of some things. Nice. So yeah, and then she's finally back in school. Everything's going well, like knock on wood. Elliot's in daycare and he's loving it. Fucking yeah. But yeah, man, other than that, everything's been it's been good. Been jamming, been playing guitar with this bum finger.
The thing. I was not ready.
Yeah.
I was not ready for it.
Mallet finger.
Just to see it like
You think anybody's got mallet finger and hammer toe at the same time?
So
It's the 1-2
this
combo.
is, if you hang out with Rick long enough, like this is like a constant thing. He'll just throw things. Throw things.
This is what
this is
not always gonna work.
yeah.
Sometimes it's
Most of
gold. Most of the time it's not.
Yeah.
We there was this Chinese place called China Walk In. We're walking by and Rick's like, "Hey, watch out, man! I'm trying to walk in," and that stuck with me all these years.
Oh yeah.
Just like burger steak.
Yep.
You
That
gotta-
was Martin. That was Martin's thing. That was good. Best thing Martin's ever said.
It's the autocorrect on the phone.
One of the things that I'm pretty sure I talked about on this podcast, but one of the things that still stays with me, and I hate it because I love the song, is when you ruin Boys to Men.
Oh.
I don't even know what you say. Some people will look into the
future of our world. Like, I can't help that they sang the wrong words in that song.
They recorded the wrong verses.
That's what it should have been.
It's
What no one knows what water runs dry means.
no. But
Speaking of songs,
Yeah, let's add some songs. What you want to add to the playlist, Mike?
Rick, what would you like to add to the playlist?
What song have you been jamming, Rick?
I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna give you mine
anything
right now. There's a band called Off the Record.
Yes, dude.
And I've been rocking the intro for the Remember When record. So I'm gonna add that to the playlist.
Sick.
What about you, Mike? While Rick finds his jam.
Oh man.
Oh.
Throw on. Oh, you know what? Throw on from Useless ID.
At least I tried.
At least I tried. Or actually, yeah, no, that was a good one. They have a really fun drinking song. For anyone who doesn't know, Useless ID is an Israeli punk band, and their melodies are so freaking catchy. I love that band.
What about you, Rick?
What I mean, like I got some gold here.
Just what have you been? What do you want to throw on the playlist for everybody to hear?
Just there's some stuff you're like, why? And that's hilarious, or like, no, that's actually pretty cool. So, I'm gonna go with Mark Ronson featuring Miley Cyrus. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart. From, you guys know that song? Yeah,
I don't think so.
It cuts you deep and leaves a scar. This world may hurt you. I recently, like, I thought Miley Cyrus was a joke for the longest time.
Dude,
She can sing, man.
And then, I mean, I always knew she could sing, but like the Party in the USA song, I used to come up with alternate lyrics for it. Too much pressure, so I let a little poop out.
see? Say it again. Say it again, because I want you to ruin this. Like you ruined many songs. So what is it?
Too much. How's the song go? She's like, too much. She's like, too much pressure and I'm nervous. But she, like, so I was like, the song was on. I was like, actually singing it like to Mike one day. I was like, too much pressure, so I let a little poop out. It makes no. It doesn't fit in the song or anything. It's just funny.
But
then,
now
like,
you'll hear it.
But then she's like, not in my head, like yeah, and I go shaking my tits like yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, you want to plug any social medias? You want to plug the business?
Oh, yeah. Mac Print Co. on Instagram. That's Mac, M-A-C, Print and Co. is in company. And that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There are times when I've had to email you, and I don't know which fucking email it is.
Yeah.
I have like four of your
Yeah.
4 of your emails.
And none of them work.
Well, we were supposed to do this at the beginning of the episode, but make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll cut it and edit. Put it again.
Yeah.
Do it again until we learn. Until we learn, Michael.
We're not doing it again.
It's our punishment. Your punishment. until we learn to do it.
That happened.
Which, by the way, it came out good last episode.
At Walking Blind Pod everywhere. We love you guys. Peace.
Bye.
Put it back again!